Hello, welcome to Man Free World. I'm Chris, and today I want to talk about how to navigate the news psyop cycles. Um, I started not to watch the news when I was a little kid. It actually affected me tremendously watching the TV news. They used to actually let a lot of truth through and was somewhat aligned with reality. Um, and wasn't so news hype cycle driven like it is now. Something occurred in the mid 2000s, maybe a little earlier than that, where these newsrooms had to be monetized, and that meant a different kind of reporting, and advertiser friendly reporting. So a lot of the news cycles, I don't know if you've noticed, are driven by emotions and kind of ridiculous stuff. I have some theories about that, mostly about MK Ultra, how that operates, how people have to be controlled, you know, are controlled by their emotional states. But I just wanted to get some tips on, if it's not obvious already, how to handle these things. Um, and I am gonna go to my little screen here, and first of all, don't consume it directly. Do not watch the news. The news, especially on TV, these poor boomers with they think the TV is their friend. They think the TV is their friend because that's how they've grown up, and it was actually reasonable. I remember it was reasonable. It actually had truth to it. There was, people were actually informed by it. So yeah, but you can't consume it directly now, and it's just total psyops now. It's just total emotional control. They just hit the buttons on people's fear cycles, and it's somewhat obvious. If it isn't obvious, it should be becoming obvious. It's like totally divisive, and they do it all on purpose. And then they say, no, we're trying to bring everything together. No, they're not trying to bring everybody together. They have totally monetized all that hate and vitriol, and there's other forces at work as well that are feeding off of this stuff. Um, you know, Washington D.C. has got the highest per capita income in the world, and there's a reason for that. The way they have this thing all set up now with the media and these media outlets, mainstream media outlets, all basically totally tied in with the corporate structure and the government structures now. It's not even America anymore. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of mega conglomerate. It's just a very odd structure, and I'm sure it's about to collapse. So that's why they're in their little death throes now, and they got to keep people who, don't really know don't know what's going on out of the loop. And I assume if you're listening to me at all, you're probably in the loop a little bit about how these things operate, and especially MK Ultra. A lot of people think it's just like, oh, one person mind control. No, it's group mass mind control. That's what they were studying. That's the little pieces of evidence. If you don't take the narrative, it's like one person, we can make him a sniper. It's like, no, they can make everybody just retarded as fuck. That's really what it's about, and totally open to emotional control at will. And I'll do another video on that about these electronic devices and how they interface with the mind. I'm a software developer, so I'm like pretty aware of how this stuff what they're using now, and it's not talked about. I'm just like, really interesting why it's not more seeing how these things are operating. So the way you can tell they're lying is when they've got the hype on fucking overdrive. Like, the more hype it is, the more you can just assume that it's just a lie. The more because it's been this cycle for, I don't know, since the 80s. Anything they've hyped up and put into overdrive, or no, it's this other guy over here. No, it's that thing. Or the latest one with this, like Middle East stuff. You have to care. It's important to care. It's like, dude, it has nothing to do with you. You have other issues at work that are gonna totally destroy destroy even what the idea of what America could have been or what it should have been, or even just the idea of freedom. I live in Mexico. It's post collapse here. People don't believe the news here. They just like go on and do something else. They're like, nah, that's not for us anyway. So really, the alternative is to do nothing. Just do, like, yeah, watch the show, clown show, do nothing, understand when they got the hype cycle in overdrive. That's just there's lying, flat out lying. And the bigger the lie, and with the bigger the noise, the bigger the lie, the more laws, and we have to get it. It's just total scam. This is, the stuff they don't talk about is really what's destroying things. And you look at the financial channels and things like that. I'll maybe I'll leave some links. I don't know. You guys already know, but it's interesting how they have to keep the majority of people who are still believing any of that shit totally like, yeah, yeah, this is really important. Oh yeah, we gotta do this now. We gotta do that now. Changing their profile pictures and all that stuff. Yeah, ridiculous. The only thing it deserves is to be shunned and ridiculed. That's all it is. And seek out the opposite. If whatever they're saying to do, you do the opposite. Which a lot of times is just don't do anything. Or alternatives. Like look for alternatives. Like this has to. I'm surprised this has to be said, but it does. So if they're saying stay inside, don't exercise, order in, don't be social, don't see your family, guess what? You do the opposite. It's like they tell you everything to do. It's like these people are pretty basic. But the average person. We have to remember the average person's IQ in America is under 100 average. So if every other person you see is dumber than you usually. I don't know about you. I'm pretty dense most of the time, but and it takes me a while to pick up on some of this stuff. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Pretty quick little recording, and yeah, I appreciate you've listened to this me old man rant.